Welcome to the DJ Insider Podcast, sponsored by Amplified Events.
It's the only podcast where we break down insider information from our weddings, experience, and advice from over 15 years in the wedding industry.
We're your hosts. I'm Mike Kane, owner of Amplified Events.
And I'm Joe Obamani, the general manager of Amplified Events.
Let's get into it. Well, we're back. Welcome to the podcast, Christa K.
Yes.
From Christa K Weddings.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for coming. So you do a couple of things, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're a pet chauffeur for weddings.
Yeah.
You do content creation for weddings. And do you do like centerpiece and decor kind of setup, tear down?
Setup, tear down. Yeah. So what actually started the entire company, if you will, was the setup and tear down. It started we started in 2016, like after my own wedding. I feel like that's how a lot of us started, our vendorship, if you will. But it was real DIY era, if you will. So I actually started making centerpieces after my own wedding and selling them on Facebook Marketplace. So
nice.
We started as a boutique. It was Tinley Boutique is actually the name of it. And then one person said to me, like, hey, like, I love the stuff you made for me, but like, who's going to set it up for me at my wedding? Well, I can. And that's how that started. But we started to move away from making everything to just setting it up and tearing it down.
Gotcha.
Because that's a service that if you don't have a planner, if you don't have a coordinator, who's going to do that for you? Like, are you going to get your hair and makeup done and then go run and set everything up? Nope, we'll do that. So that's what started moving us from, Tinley Boutique into Christa K Weddings. But the setup and tear down really kind of started. It was our pivotal piece that really started everything.
Gotcha. And so then you transferred into pet chauffeur.
Yeah, that was the next one. So 2018, we started offering pet chauffeur. And that, again, came from a need of, I wanted my dogs at my wedding. Who was going to bring them there? Like everybody you would trust with your pet, your baby, they're probably already at your wedding, right? Your parents, your siblings, your best friend. Who's going to bring your dog? I was actually working as a veterinary assistant. I was there 12 years. I worked at a corporate, animal clinic. So lots of experience with animals, particularly dogs and cats. But I say pet chauffeur, it's mainly dog chauffeur.
Yeah.
Really, but and I can speak from my own experience. But us millennials, we love our animals. We love our dogs, and a lot of our couples nowadays are really incorporating their pets so much into their wedding. So everything I do came from there was a need. And nobody to fulfill that need. So that's where I stepped in and I said, well, I can do that. Me.
Yeah.
I've got the, I'm wedding vendor first. I always want to say that because so many people could put your dog on a leash and bring them to your wedding. But, are we creating a timeline for your pet? Are they, CPR certified? Do they know anything about pet, first aid? God forbid there's some kind of, incident that happens. Does that person know about weddings? Do they understand, where to keep the pet while you're walking down the aisle? And what happens if the dog starts barking, during your ceremony? Like someone who's inexperienced may not know that. So could just anyone do it? Arguably, no. Could someone walk a dog down the aisle and that be the end of it? Sure. But you need somebody with experience. And we had that experience. We were already 2 years into wedding vendorship. And I'd already been at the animal clinic by that time, 7 or 8 years. So I had a lot of experience there. So we turned it into, there was a need and nobody to fulfill that need. And so we kind of stepped into it. We called it pet chauffeur. A lot of people call it, wedding. They're like, are you the dog sitter or the dog walker? You sure?
The mud of honor.
Yeah. Mud of honor, whatever you want to call it. We're there to, get them there safely, get them home safer. Some people want their dogs to stay for cocktail hour, right? That's the golden retrievers, like the literal golden retrievers. Like we want them there during cocktail hour. We want them to mingle with the guests. And then there's your, other pets that, they're not very social, but we want them there. They have to be there. Fine. We can walk them down the aisle. I've had pets that will do literal backflips. I had this beautiful, amazing, very high energy black lab that they had to have there. That's their baby, of course. But they're like, there's no way he's going to walk down the aisle and sit and say, he's just going to bark. He's going to want to be with us. We just want him there for pictures. Great. He'll be there. He'll be wearing, whatever attire you want for him. We'll get him there. We'll have him there and he'll be there and we'll have him there as long as you want him to be. And then we'll get him home. So they have a need. we have the availability, we're going to go ahead and do that. And it just kind of spawned into my favorite like aspect of our business.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. It's so fun. And you're right that millennials, there is this like, our pets are our family.
Yeah.
And we want our whole family at the wedding.
Absolutely. Can't do it without them.
That's right. And it's nice then to have somebody whose whole job it is to like look after, but understands the flow of a wedding. Yeah. And also then your family, your friend, they can be present and enjoy the wedding. Exactly. They're not chasing down the pup and making sure the pup's where it's supposed to be and dressed properly and all that.
Exactly. The tie's facing forward, their tie's facing forward. And, we always try to do like we wipe your paws before you walk down the aisle, give a little brush if we need to.
Yeah.
Always, always, always long walks before and long walks after because, knock on wood, we've never had it happen, but God forbid you want, poop down the aisle or accidents down the aisle or, Fluffy knocking over Mima because Mima's holding a leash, but she's trying to, be present. And like you said, we love our pets. We want them there, but we need somebody with experience that's going to understand what could happen and be proactive and preventive so that, things don't happen.
Plus, it's hot. Those hot days. It's like, you need somebody looking after, making sure that they're just watching the dog.
Yeah. We're in the shade. We have water available. Yeah. We can wipe if there's any, panting or drooling. Like we've got the towel to clean it up. We've got the poop bags already ready in our bag. Like we have the tools we need to prevent things happening, but also be reactive if they do.
Yeah.
Somebody whose dedicated job is just to care for that pet, not be at the wedding and enjoying your day. Like let your guests be guests. Like that is our motto for all of our services is let your guests be guests, right? Like don't make mom set up your centerpieces. Don't make, Uncle Jim bring your dog. Like let them be guests. Same thing with content creation. Like yes, your guests could absolutely be recording videos and taking photos and behind the scenes stuff 100%. But they also want to enjoy themselves. And if they have to walk around with that camera, like, do they get that opportunity to do that? Maybe not as much.
It definitely changes the experience.
Yeah.
It's there, like you're there to work the wedding versus you're there to enjoy the wedding.
Yeah.
It's a different mindset and obviously different focus. And I personally, as a DJ, I want everybody there to be somebody who's going to be enjoying, celebrating,
right?
Focusing on that rather than, well, what about this? We got to do this. And, that's why you hire people to take care of that for you, when you're stressed, the weeks of planning up prior to that, then you have the people the day up to just make it happen.
Right. Execute that vision for you. You've planned it for weeks, months, sometimes years. Like let the people you've hired, like trust the people you hired to execute that vision for you.
Yeah.
Like, people are like, hey, I want a packed dance floor or, we're not really dancers. Do you want it to be a packed? Like, let us execute what you wanted and what you've planned for your big day. That's what we're here for. That's what we love. That's what we live for. That's what I live for. I love
it. Sometimes I'll tell people, like, do you want a DJ? Like, you don't have to do a DJ. Like, we don't really like music. We don't really like dancing. None of our family dance. I'm like, why?
So what? What do you want? What are we doing? What are we doing? But then you said sometimes people like, we're not dancers and it's a rager.
Oh, they go nuts. Yeah, they go crazy. So it just depends. You never know.
You never know. And you'll be surprised sometimes too. Especially, people at the bar, guests at the bar.
Yeah. The mood hits them right. We play the right song at the right time and just it
really is like magic. Like you have to know what it is that's going to get them there. And I was just thinking about, I had a client that was interested in like, hey, I really like this song. Can you incorporate it into our highlight reel?
Ooh.
And it brought me into thinking about like with DJs, with music and how it's very personal. If someone says to you, like, I love this song, you've got to play it. Mm-hmm. It is my favorite song. Or, we really enjoy this song. And you're like, it's a good song. People are going to dance. Like, it's not a dancey song. It's not going to draw people in. Or it's not a blendable song. It's not a buildable song. How can I mix that in to like incorporate it and make it purposeful or meaningful? And I think about that when, hey, we really love this song. It's really meaningful to us. So maybe I can find a way to incorporate it into a video, but I don't know that that's necessarily your highlight reel because it doesn't have a lot of movement in the song to where I can mix.
Yeah. The energy of the song is, it's going to be lacking. It's going to have a different tone than you're thinking.
Right. And again, it can be so meaningful and so, deep rooted to you and your family, your couple, your husband, whatever the case may be. But is it going to match what you need it to match for this, dance floor, for this video, for this highlight reel? Maybe not. But that's where we're trusted on our vision, right? Like we have a vision for what the day could look like, what the reel or, content could look like. Does that match the vision? with a couple. So that's always up to us to try to figure out, right?
Yeah. And so with the content creation side, tell me a little bit more about that. So couples will hire you to do content for their weddings?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So that is relatively, I don't want to say it's a relatively new thing. Like it's been around, not necessarily for weddings. For weddings, it is a newer service. And particularly in this area, I feel like it's a little newer. Some of the bigger cities have had content creation for weddings around for a long time. Influencers have certainly been a thing for a while. It is newer to the wedding sector. It's newer to Northwest Indiana, I will say. And it's, a very stark difference. There's still a lot of people that are like, oh, well, it's basically videography. Oh, no, it's not. There's some similarities, right? It's video. You're getting video. But there's a lot of stark differences. First of all, it's equipment, right? I'm following you around with a cell phone. I do not have the wonderful, big cameras. I don't have, I do carry a gimbal, but not like the big stabilizers. I have a lapel mic sometimes. I don't even use it all the time, but microphones, lighting, that is not my thing. I've got an iPhone 16 and I've got my backup iPhone, but it is candid stuff. My emphasis is on the candid behind the scenes things. Now, it's also social media ready, social media facing, because I know a lot of it is made to be put online. That's what this generation, like it or not, like that's what we're about. Like we love social media. I love social media.
Yeah.
But that's what it's for, right? And it's not just me delivering some photos and some clips to you. It's me getting them to you within days. I say 72 hours. My track record's a little closer to 24.
Nice.
So you wake up after your wedding and sometimes you've got a link from me.
Instant.
With all of this stuff, right? Because that's another thing.
Awesome.
This generation and beyond, like I'm a millennial, but and on, like we like that instant gratification. So you might wake up and you might have a link with hundreds of clips and photos. And even it takes me a couple of days usually to make the TikToks. But if you told me like, hey, I really like this TikTok trend or this Instagram trend, like I'd love to replicate it. Absolutely. Let me practice the music, give me a couple of weeks in advance to, download the music, practice the timing, get everything ready. But we can do that and give me a couple of days and I'll have that TikTok ready for you. Can people do these things themselves? Sure. But I've made it my job to do it for you. So you and your guests don't have to. But it's, like I said, it's a lot of behind the scenes, very candid stuff. That's not saying I will, pose you or do some really nice, like editorial looking stuff to make some pretty clips for you. Absolutely will. But it is, I really like to think of myself as like a hype person, right? Like that honorary, unofficial bridesmaid that is going to get those clips of the dress fluffing and, mom helping you put on the earrings or, everybody getting their bridal photos together, just laughing and, knowing that like in half an hour, you're going to be marrying the love of your life. In half an hour, you're going to watch your sister walk down the aisle for the day she's dreamed about since she was a little girl and capturing those moments and you getting to see what you might not get to see on your wedding day because you're at the altar. Mm. But you pan over and you see grandma with tears in her eyes, like watching her little girl get married. Like, how fun is that to get to see? One of my unintentional favorite things that just kind of happened recently, one of my first, I think 2023 couples, they had just gotten their bridal photos done just got bridal photos done. And family had come in, it was at the Grand, so like parking's on the street. They were coming in to the venue right where they were taking the photos. And it was, I think grandma and grandpa had come up and bride saw them, came to give them a hug and a kiss. And I got it on camera. And later, she was like, this is one of my favorite clips that we got. I don't have any videos with my grandpa, but I believe he passed recently. And she posted that video. And she was like, this is one of my favorite things that I saw. That's the most recent video, but content I have with him. It was one of the favorite things I had. I was like right in the feels. It's like, but you have that, right? You can cherish that forever and you got it the next day. But you have that forever, that moment of just giving him a hug and a kiss. And she joked that like, it was the only time she heard him say, you look really pretty instead of like, oh, you look pretty ugly, like, haha, joking around. But she got that moment and it was so special to have. And I'm not going to, I can't promise that for every wedding, right? But you do get those moments that you might not have remembered. Do you think she remembers hugging, a family member? How many people did you hug on your wedding? But like, this is the one you got. We got it on camera and you get to have that moment forever. As long as you can save it to your device, like you've got that forever.
Yeah. Well, and those kind of things may or may not have been captured by a photographer or videographer.
Sure.
Most likely not, right? Because it's like, oh, they're getting in from their car. Like that's not something they would normally
Right.
film.
Right.
It's like once they're there, once everyone is set, and we,
Right.
that I like that it's kind of more behind the scenes. Somebody's kind of following and kind of be kind of like content creator for the day. Like, hey,
Yeah.
here's all the fun stuff that happened. Here's all the sweet stuff that happened.
Personal paparazzi. Is
Yes.
like I'm literally, no, I'm not like consecutively filming, right? Like
Sure.
I do, stop and take clips, but like I try to get stuff that like you wouldn't think about remembering until you see it. And you're like, oh.
It may or may not have been captured by the other people.
Right.
That's the whole, but it's with a new spin, with a focus of, we're going to get this out very soon, right on social media.
Right. You have it quick. You've got clips of it. They're not long videos. They're usually just like pieces here and there, but it's really cool to get to look back on. And then you can make your own reels out of it, right? Like it's your content. Do with it what you want. I'll make something for you. We'll make something cute. You've obviously seen my work and seen how I usually do with weddings. Like I always, I'm trying to get the big moments. The walk down the aisle, centerpieces, like see what the weather looks like for the day, because I really like to get, like if there's flowers at the venue, for example, like I'm going to get some photos of the flowers and, them moving in the breeze, like detail shots, and then your centerpieces. How long did you work on designing your wedding, right? Like picking out your flowers and your colors and your centerpieces, like you worked hard, your family, you and your fiance worked hard to create those. Like I'm going to get, your photographer will get pictures, obviously. I'm going to get some videos and we're going to try to incorporate that together, but do what you want with that content. Make it, like I've had, June of last year where I'd make some wonderful content out of my content. And I was like, you could be a wedding content creator too.
Yeah.
Like, but you do what you want with the content, keep it forever. I'll make something for you, but, I'll also be there to get those moments for you. And really, like, it's your big day. I'm as excited as you are. I love weddings. I'm going to tell you how beautiful you look and how good everything, you put this together. Like, this is, you did such a great job. And I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. But like, I'm like the bridesmaid there. Like, I want to hype you up and keep you having a good day because it's the best day ever. And we're going to keep that energy. Like, I'm here to bring the vibe. I'm here to bring the energy. Like, I will be dancing at your wedding. Just know that. That's one thing. Like, I will be dancing. I will be on. I don't want to steal the spotlight. Like, I'm not going to be in the middle of the dance floor, but I will be there. Right? Like, get all the way. This is my song. Like, but I will be there and I will be dancing. And we're going to have a great time. Like, that's what we're there for. To keep you, having a good time and enjoying the day that you've planned for weeks, months, and years. That's what we're there for.
Yeah. You're all in.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. 110%.
And believe it or not, that's a really important aspect, is just that positivity, that energy. It's infectious and it's contagious, and it's really important because it can be a very stressful day.
100%.
A lot of people are just, very stressed. And so if you can get
Rightfully
them
so.
Yeah, right. Because there's
It's
a lot.
expensive. There's a lot.
A lot
Everybody
of time, a lot of
knows
money,
to
a
be
lot
there.
of planning hours went into it. It has to go perfect.
It has to.
And so it's really hard to just remember to go, and just I'm going to have fun now. I'm just going to focus on enjoying this day and having a good time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes that somebody else. Hey, it's like that energy, bringing that level.
Yeah.
That it can change that whole perspective for that person for the day.
100%.
They're like, oh, it kind of shakes them loose from that. I don't need to worry. I'm good.
Right.
Let's
like
have fun.
de-stress. And someone told me when I was a bride, like, the guests will do what you do, right?
Yeah.
So if you want people dancing, you got to dance.
That's right.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah, I've seen
that
too.
makes sense. So when I'm on, like, doing my satellite on the dance floor, getting people having a good time, they're going to do what you do. If you're having a good time, I will be singing. Like, I'm always moving in general, but like, I will be singing. I will be enjoying that DJ.
Yeah.
I will be with that vibe. Like, and I'm like, Eric Jager, when I did a wedding with him, there's so many times where I stopped and I turned around, I'm like, oh my God, this was cool. Like the way he was blending the song, I was like, I love this song. And I'm going to have a good time. I want you to know I'm having a good time. I want your guests to know I'm having a good time, because I want you guys to have a good time. Yeah. That's what we're here for. Your friend, family member, whomever, like, they plan this day for everybody to enjoy. So let's all dance and sing and have a good time.
It just takes a little courage and then add sometimes a little liquid.
Yeah.
And
no judgment. Like,
but
you're here to have a good time.
Yeah. There's just, unfortunately, there's that social pressure on it. And so it just takes people, like, usually one person to just, let's do this. And they're like, okay, well, that's not so bad.
Right. Oh, I am having a good time. Yeah. Like, wow, I just needed to get out there and actually do it to have some fun. Absolutely.
we have this phrase that comes up again and again on the podcast called "It's not going to go the way you think," and it's the phrase we use that sometimes people have this idea when planning their wedding, and they already kind of figured out how they want it to go, but they don't do weddings every weekend. They don't see, and so like sometimes I'm like, that's not going to go the way you think, and here's a way it could go better.
I love that.
Have you had any moments like that, or even like as you're sitting down in the past with couples and you've seen, oh, this is how we pictured the thing with our dog, or this is how we want our decor to be. And then you're like, oof, I don't know if that's going to go the way you think. Any examples or thoughts on it?
Luckily, not with dogs, because I feel like it could go
Like cats or like other animals?
Correct. We can't, but it so far, I think everything's gone pretty swimmingly. I do try to, like you said, like I will preemptively say, hey, we plan for weddings to run late, period.
Sure.
Vendors know they will run late.
Yeah.
We're going to plan for that. So with content, I'm going to tell you right now, I'll do those TikToks. You've got to build them into your timeline because things are not going to go the way they should. They're not going to go as planned. They're going to run late.
It takes more time than you think.
So
People show
build
up late.
in 10 minutes for me to do those TikToks. We'll get them done, but I'm not going to be the reason. These TikToks are not going to be the reason we run late. So let's plan for that. We always try to build those in so that it's not, a thing. With dogs, I always try to say, if they bark, we're going to remove them, right? I joke that they are the star of your wedding, but they cannot be the star of your wedding because they're acting up, whining, barking. That's okay if they do. We're just going to, kind of remove them to get them a little bit more comfortable so that hopefully that doesn't happen. With decor, has it happened? Absolutely. I've had florists not bring the right amount of centerpieces. We've had to gather some things from other
Make some.
We've had to, rig a centerpiece before, or we've had glass break prior to coming in. And we got to figure out, we've had to kind of take some other little bud vases and make some other decor. Like I always tell people, if you're getting married in June, maybe real flames aren't the way to go. Right? Because it's not something you think about, but is candlelight romantic? Yes. If you have 1,000 candles burning inside, it's going to heat up your venue, right? Do you want that in June? No. Like it's already hot enough. But candles burn, they make things hot, candles break, whatever, the hurricanes break, no big deal. We can figure it out. That's what experienced vendors are going to do, right? Like it's not just going to go that way, but we have to plan for it.
Yeah.
We have our little emergency kits, like we have tape, glue, whatever the thing may be to fix it. Can I think of an exact example or
those are all really good examples. Yeah, ones where you.
But I kind of feel like we know they're not going to. We kind of just roll with it.
Yeah. Well, generally, what I do is I'm concerned this is going to happen, given my experience.
Yeah.
So if you're not concerned, or that's not a lot of times they haven't thought about it, or they haven't. And they're like,
that's where experience matters.
Yeah. Well, they ask, where should we do the cake cutting, or where should we do the speeches, or sometimes they want to do like speech, dance. And I was like, that's going to be a lot. You want a nice flow.
That's not going to go the way you think
it's not going to go that way. Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to start using that now.
Yeah. Or, people like, well, I want to do this elaborate dance routine with my dad. I'm like, I love that. That's really fun. And they're like, here's, 25 songs. And I'm like, that's how long is this dance routine going to be? Because you want it 2 or 3 minutes or less. You don't want an 8-minute dance,
No.
That's a performance. That's another level.
And then, after 2-3 minutes, you would probably know better than me. Everyone's kind of like, all right.
We get it. The novelty is worn off.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless you're doing something that is just amazing. They never thought you could do.
Or interactive, right?
Yes.
Like if you're somehow, but you got to think about your guests at that point.
Yes.
Like
it's the same as a speech. If it's going longer than 2 minutes, it better be really good.
Yeah. It's got to have
otherwise you're going to lose their attention.
Yeah.
You're going to lose the interest, and you're going to lose the energy. And honestly, there's no bigger thing that kills a dance floor faster than a bad speech.
Yeah.
It's just like,
yeah. I had an 8-minute speech once, and bless the guest's heart, you could tell they whenever he would like pause to speak, they would start clapping to hopefully get him to get the point that he didn't after several times, but it was 8 minutes. I typically don't record speeches start to finish because, again, behind the scenes clips, that kind of reaches a little bit into videography, but I try to get a lot of it so that, you can rewatch it later. I'm at like 8 minutes. I'm like, all right, we got to wrap it up here, bud. And, he would take a breath and people are clapping and he'd nod and like thank people. And he's like, and then he'd come going like, oh, buddy, like people want to eat.
The fake endings are the worst.
Yeah. Like people want to eat, like wrap this up so we can get the salads and the bread out and, get this going. It's something.
Yeah. You have any moments that you remember from, previous years or recently from weddings you've done that are like, this is so sweet. This was a very touching moment, like that I experienced that I was a part of, or the opposite is like, this was, whoa, like I was very surprised, shocked. So
I really love when people do like uber personal things. And if you can't have your dog at your wedding, if you're making like you're putting their like embossed your napkins or you name a drink after your pet, like I love that kind of stuff. I had my first wedding of the year, actually Valentine's Day. It was at the Allure. Amber, her mom told told the story of her favors. And there were these beautiful little like glass mason jar or just jars. And I learned later it was jam. It was a jam. And her mom was telling the story about how, I guess her family, they make their own jam. And Amber had never had store-bought jelly or jam until she was, I think, an adult. And because her family had always made it. And so I think grandma had passed. And so like Amber is now the jam maker of the family. And so all of her favors were these amazing little personalized jars of jam for everybody. And I loved that. Like that is so personal to them and their family that she made it for everybody. Like went out of her way to like make it for everybody. Like how sweet is that? Yeah. I kind of was looking, I was like, that looks delicious. I'm not a guest, I'm not gonna take one, but like that looks delicious. And I love that you're going out of your way to make it so personal to you.
Yeah.
I absolutely love
It's literally like a project. We had
Yeah.
one where all of the name were personally drawn paintings
Stop it.
from the bride. She was an artist, and some of them were like famous, like renditions, like they did like Starry Night, but like for that person, because that person loves Van Gogh or whatever, like it was crazy.
I love that.
But,
one of my friends actually, they did, she did hand, like the table cards, like the place cards were handwritten notes.
I love
From
that
the
too.
bar. She's like, I love letters.
Yeah.
I love getting notes and letters. And I don't know if she was like doing it in like a cool percent, but she's like, yeah, I made a note to every single person there. Do you know how much time that takes?
Oh my God.
It's not typing it, right? Like it's not voice memo. Like it's handwriting. And I know she had to at least have 100 people there. Now you might have done like Mr. and Mrs. And we're going to write or grandma and grandpa.
Sure.
But still, that's at least 50 handwritten notes.
Yeah.
That took so much time. Like how sweet is that?
That's really
I know a big thing coming up too that I absolutely love because it's 100% true bride saying, or, couple saying, we have a father walking the bride down the aisle, right? Like giving your daughter away. We have the father-daughter dance. What do we have for moms? What do you have for moms? There's not a lot for moms. Moms literally share their body with their children, right? Like they help raise them and mold them and they help in the weddings oftentimes. Like, what do we have for moms during the wedding? And so I'm seeing I had a lot of like mother-daughter dances that sometimes they were surprised for the mom, but the moms were just like thrilled. I had a bride that they did a replica of the mom's bouquet, like for the mom and dad when they got married. Like the bride replicated that bouquet and like dedicated it to mom. So I'm seeing that trend come out. And I really love that, like you're going out of your way on your wedding day to like recognize the people that have helped build your life, have helped build your, new family with this wedding that's coming together, like has built a foundation for your life. And you're taking time out of your wedding day to recognize them. I love that.
Yeah.
I love people when they're so just thoughtful. Like that is just
love is in the air.
kind. That's why I love weddings so much. Like it's amazing. I love weddings. I really do. I love weddings.
What are some of the challenges that you experience in doing this kind of work?
I thought about this and it really, for me, is the work-life balance, right? And saying no to weddings, saying no when I'm booked is a hard thing for me because I've got FOMO, especially with content creation, because I don't want to have to tell you, like, I'm booked. There's a ton of content creators in Chicago and a couple in Indianapolis. Like, you got to go find one of them. Like, I can't do it for you. I want to do it for you. I want to be it for you. Let me, maybe I could do your getting ready content and then I'll do this other wedding later in the day. Like it literally crosses my mind.
How could I do this?
How could I do this? I just recently last year hired assistants like found people that I'm like, all right, I can trust you to help, with reception design, the setup and tear down. And then somebody that I wholeheartedly trust to help bring other people's dogs to their wedding. Like bringing somebody's baby, their family member to the best day of their life. Like that takes a lot to like trust people to do that. I found some, assistants to help me with that end, but I have the FOMO when it comes to content creation. Like I want to do it all. I don't want to say no. I'm literally just trying so hard to be like, how can I do both weddings? How can I do all 3 weddings in a day? You can't, Christa. You have to say no. A little part of me dies. I'm like, I don't want to say no, but I have to. And then obviously work-life balance. I do work my corporate job during the week. And then weekends, from March to November, weekends are weddings. And you miss out on family stuff, right? Like you miss out on some barbecues, you miss out on some things. But this is also a job for me. This is actually, people are like, oh, you have a side hustle. Like, weddings are your side hustle. No, nursing is my side hustle.
I like that.
This is my job. This came first. I was a wedding planner before I was a nurse. Somebody gave me this quote that I just love. It's, nursing feeds my heart, but weddings feed my soul.
I like that.
Like I feel, and I see opposite ends of the spectrum, right? Like I see the worst day of people's lives and I see the best day of people's life. And both are so incredibly exhausting and fulfilling, but it's such a good emotional balance, if you will. But then you look at, the work-life balance where, during the week I'm here, during the weekends I'm there. It's, I don't want to say no to weddings. I want to do more, but it's like, my husband and my kid are home on the weekends and I got this wedding. Obviously I want to spend time with my family, but, weddings are a job. It is the brand that I've built and, I have to find a way to do both. And I love both so much. It's a balance of saying no, doing what, fulfilling the promises you made to couples, but also, being there for your family. It's tough, right? Like being gone every weekend for 9 months of the year, 6 months of the year.
Yeah.
Missing out on things. It's tough. But we do it. And that I think is probably one of the bigger challenges is trying to find that balance of, what works for me, my family, and all of my clients that have been referred to me or have found me who want us to be there.
I just somehow find time to sleep and take care of yourself. And
Have you ever done a triple wedding weekend?
I've done quadruple.
Wedding Friday, wedding Saturday, and like baby shower on Sunday. Like for me, it's usually set up, tear down, which is, easier because you come for a couple hours and then you have a break in between and then you come back later. Or, multiple in a day. Good grief. Like when do we sleep? I live off coffee. I just want to put that out there. Like 600 milligrams of caffeine a day is my jam, or more sometimes. I don't know. But it's exhausting and fulfilling. I love it. I'm not complaining. I don't want to complain about, my job, the thing that brings me joy. But like you said, sleep and rest and self-care. Like where do we find the time? We made it work, I guess, but where do we find the time?
Somehow.
Yeah. Right. We make it work. We just do it. There's no logic to it. We just make it happen.
For couples out there thinking about decor, centerpieces for a pet chauffeur or for content creation, do you have any advice for them on what to look for, what to avoid, kind of, red flags, green flags?
So just in general for weddings, for anybody who is getting married, I have 3 pieces of advice. Before you, not even pertaining to my services, just in general, 3 things. It is your wedding. It is your wedding. It is your wedding.
Ooh, all 3.
And all 3. It is your wedding. Okay. It is not a photo shoot. It is not a family reunion. It is not a high school reunion. It's your wedding. Do what you want. Right? Like I'm in a lot of bridal groups, a lot of Facebook groups, because I want to know, what are the couples talking about? What do they want? Like what needs are not getting met that we can help fulfill, right? And there's a lot of, so-and-so is going to pay for the wedding. Now they can't. I'm so angry at my parents because they're not going to be have the wedding you can afford. It's your wedding.
Yeah.
It's not, my mom wants to do this. My mom's trying to invite, my neighbor's sister's uncle's roommate. I don't know them. It's your wedding. Okay. Set boundaries, right? It's your wedding. I want everything to look perfect. I want this big grandiose event, but I don't have, it's your wedding. So, figure out what's important to you. And If that means what's important to me is having my family there and my dog there, my pet there, great, word for you. Give us a call. Red flags and green flags, right? Let's talk about who has experience. So when you're looking to book your vendors, who's got reviews? Can you find a business license online? Do they have insurance? Right? Those are the things we need to know for any
Basic,
vendor.
they're not going to run off with your money.
100%. We have all of those things, right? We have experience. We are insured. We're licensed. We are, we're a legitimate company. But when it comes to specifically with your pet, what experience do they have? Like, why would you feel safe with that person having your pet? Do you I will happily meet you and your pet before your wedding. Make sure we bond. I am 100% okay with that. Let's, but when you're looking specifically for a pet chauffeur, like, why are they qualified? What makes them qualified for you to trust your baby with this person for a couple of hours? Now, for me, that looks like I might be going into someone's home to pick up their dog, pet, whatever, bring them to the ceremony, and then bring them back home. Sometimes it's boarding facilities, families, houses. This is somebody you're trusting to go into your home sometimes when you're not there, Somebody you're going to feel safe with. Somebody you're going to trust to pick up your pet, bring them there, get them home, right? So look for someone with experience, with reviews, good reviews, right? You want good reviews, and someone with insurance, right? You bare minimum for all of your vendors, but someone who's going to be with your pet, bare minimum. You've got to have that. When it comes to centerpiece, like setup and tear down, if you don't have a planner or coordinator, not everybody does, have somebody set up your decor for you, right? If you have a Saturday wedding or a Friday wedding, they may give you the day before to set up. And if that's the case, you might not need somebody to design your service for you. Is that a stress you want to take on? That's something you need to decide. If it's worth it to you to know, like, I'm going to be rushed, I'm going to be frazzled.
Yeah, sweaty, stressed out.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Hire somebody. Like, find out what's important to you. Figure out what's important to you for your wedding day. If that's being stress-free and having your dog there, we're for you. Come on, sis, let's talk. With content creation, what's important to you to look back on? If that's just photos, perfectly fine. Photographers are artists. I don't think people in general give enough credit to wedding vendors, but photographers, videographers, there's an art to these things.
Yeah.
If you just want photos, that's fine. If you want videos, if you want that cinematic, music video, a videographer's for you. A videographer is 100%. You want behind the scenes. If you just want a couple TikToks, if you just want some behind the scenes stuff, or, whatever the case may be, content might be for you. But vet your vendors. Like, if you saw, an ad online that says, like, I'm offering a discounted price for XYZ, fine. If you're asked to pay everything up front, red flag. Not always, but those scams that go,
Sure.
I'm going to
take the money and then you never hear from them again.
And you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
Now, I have a wedding group myself, the Northwest Indiana Services, Supplies, and Vendors Group. I have to vet those vendors before they come in.
Sure.
To try to, shield people from what I call, backyard vendors, right? It's okay if this is a second gig for you. That's fine. There are some great vendors that, have two jobs.
Yeah.
But if you're going to take somebody's money and run, no. Or if you're not going to deliver what you say you're going to deliver, absolutely not.
Yeah, then you're not one of us.
You're not.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shield as best that I can these couples from you.
Yeah.
Right? And so, look at multiple sources, right? Don't just go straight to Google. Don't, Yelp. I hear mixed reviews on Yelp reviews. But Wedding Wire, they're not. Are they vendors? Are they club DJs? Do you want a club DJ at your wedding?
You should know. What's their experience?
Right? What is your experience?
Yeah. And how they're going to handle guest requests, how they're going to handle music. Yeah.
Are you just a DJ? Are you a DJ MC? Are you going to officiate my wedding? Are you going to play cocktail hour music? You find these in the reviews, and it's not just Google. It might be Yelp. Not if I can find Google reviews of you, but not anything through a wedding website, what does that mean? So vetting your vendors is huge. And I'll give you anything you want to see. You want to see the work that I've done for content creation, go to my Instagram. I'll tell everybody, go straight to my Instagram. Everything is posted there. I'm not going to give somebody else's gallery to you to see because that's very private. A lot of my stories are on my highlights. If you want to see some behind the scenes stuff, absolutely go see what you want to see. You've got everything online there for you. I'm happy to give you, because I want you to trust me. Like, that's one of my favorite things about weddings is when I describe why I love weddings, that is arguably the most important day of somebody's life. Like, up to this point, usually. They've trusted you to be there. They're paying you to be there. Like, what an honor. Like, that is so amazing that someone's like, I want you there.
At my wedding.
At my wedding. Yeah. I want you there.
I'll pay you to be there.
I'll pay you to be there. I mean, and then better than that, I'm excited about you being there. I'm so excited for you to be my DJ, you to be my content creator, for you to bring my dog. Like, and then there's people that like seeing do that. Like, that hurts my heart a little bit. But that, like, what an honor to be a part of that. What a pleasure it is to be there on your day. That's why I'm gonna deliver. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be dancing. I'm gonna have your dog. I'm gonna be taking some great clips. You know, your centerpiece are gonna be as much curated to your vision as we've discussed. If we have to make some revisions, you know, we'll discuss that in advance. Like, things aren't always gonna look exactly how you put them on the Pinterest board sometimes, or especially when I'm packing up. I tell people, like, look, I've got 2 hours to set everything up. I've got 30 minutes and a closet to break it down. So, like, it's not going to be as packed up as beautifully as it was. You know, when I unpacked it, when you take it home, like, it's not going to look as pretty. It's going to be kind of, you know, thrown in there. As long as that is okay, discussed in advance, we know, you know, time and space are limited. But yeah, it's wild.
You said you got married in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Any lessons that you learned from that, good or bad, or things that were like, oh man, going through this process?
Yeah. So first thing was when I was getting ready for my wedding, because I got married in Florida. I'm from Florida. We got married in Florida. When I was getting close to the wedding, was like, who was going to set up my centerpieces?
Wow.
Who's going to set up my centerpieces? I need a coordinator. So I got a coordinator. And so at the beginning of my business, I did do coordination. I did day off, month of coordination. It's no longer a service that I provide because I don't find that it is, you know, within my scope. I don't feel like that's something I can do. If I'm not going to be doing something to the best of my ability, I don't want to offer
Some people really love it. They're really good at it. And I love people like that.
Yeah.
That's not me.
There are some really great planners, coordinators. It's not for me. I am happy to give you all of the recommendations, all the referrals.
Yeah.
It is not me. And that's okay. I'll be honest. So we got the coordinator and they set everything up. They didn't break down. Our caterer did break down for us, which is wonderful. Like I mentioned, people will do what the bride does, right? Or the couple. I was dancing all night. I had people I didn't leave the dance floor. Like, my bridesmaids were feeding me drinks. Like, they would go and feed me the drinks. And we had a really fun time. I did not see my husband all night. I did not see my husband all night. And you want to know why? Because it was a high school reunion.
Wow. He was just hanging out with the buds.
Yeah. And I don't fault him for that. Like, my husband is a very nostalgic guy. So he's like, you don't know when you're ever going to see these people again. Yeah. Your wedding sometimes is sometimes the first time everybody loves going to be in the same room.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Drink that in.
Yeah.
Drink that. That's amazing. And he took that as like, I want to see everybody. You know, I was really close to this person in high school. They were willing to, you know, fly from Indiana to Florida to see us get married and have a good time. And I wanted to see everybody. Didn't you want to see your wife?
Yeah.
So we joke about that now. Like, I was very salty for several years about, like, there was one point where the DJ's like, oh, we're going to do, like, we did the shoe game or, you know, whatever. We couldn't find the groom. We didn't know where my husband was. Like, he was there. I don't know if he was, like, at the bar, at, you know, the beautiful patio that was outside. We had to find my husband on my wedding night. Like, we literally, so stay with your partner. Right? And I don't want to say grooms, but, like, grooms. Stay with your partner. You know, it is your night to be together. Like, you pay for your DJ, enjoy the songs, dance a little, you know, get something to eat, right? Yeah. Like, especially, it's usually the brides getting up at 4 a.m. to get hair and makeup done. Eat something, eat and hydrate. Yeah. Like, you gotta eat, you gotta hydrate. Trust your vendors. It's such a day to just enjoy and relax. The best thing you can do to be de-stressed, trust your vendors. Yeah. Right?
And hire vendors. Sometimes people are like, oh yeah.
Amen.
I'll DJ this myself.
Right. I'll put a playlist on and what could go wrong? Right?
Every year we book people that are, my friend said they were going to do it and they dropped out at the last second.
I mean.
Or a DJ, you know, we trusted, you know. they haven't returned our calls. You know,
how does stuff like this happen? And you wonder from like a vendor side, like if you've collected a retainer or a deposit and you've signed a contract, like how are you not delivering? How are you not answering?
I mean, you owe them that money back.
100%.
If you didn't deliver that service and you didn't, you know.
And now you're not responsive, and now you've got couples freaking out. Now you're having to hire somebody else, like, you know, understandably freaking out because they've hired somebody and they've gone through all of the things, you know, to get you hired for the wedding, and now you've ghosted them.
Yeah.
How it is 2025, the year of technology.
It's
like,
wild.
And why would you want to do that to people?
I don't know.
I will never understand it. Like, these are questions that will go unanswered forever.
It's easier to just do it right.
Can you think of all the like the mind games that you would have to do to purposely scam somebody? I literally can't even fathom.
Well, and then just to keep up with the lies and
how
the
exhausting.
communication of it all,
Or non-communication.
It's easier to just do it right. It's easier to just, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. And tell them I don't want to do it, and here's your money back.
Right. Yeah. Or I'm booked, or I forgot I have.
We see that a lot where the DJ will book, and then they'll book a bigger one. They'll double book themselves, and then they'll wait forever to tell the couple because they're and then they're like
they want to keep the money for the longest time.
Yes. And
oh my God.
They're hoping they can just figure it out or whatever, you know, and they can't figure it out, and so they should not wait till the day of or the week of to tell the couple hey, I double booked myself,
right?
And you guys are the ones who are going to get booted because. I don't know. It's if it seems too good to be true, that price seems so good,
100%.
Then it probably is.
It probably
there's a reason.
Any vendor, right? If the price is too good to be true, if everything looks because now, and that's what I worry about with AI, of people faking
content
for weddings, sometimes it's really hard to tell. Sometimes it's easy to look at. AI and be like, well, she's got 6 fingers, right? Because AI always messes up hands.
Yeah.
She's got 6 fingers. That's fake. But if you see people dancing or a bride and a groom or, a couple, is that real? Did you really shoot that wedding as a photographer? Is that a real dance floor or people stealing content, right? That's a big one with photographers.
Insane.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
There's a little string of, either stealing photos from other people and scamming. What? You have this much knowledge to scam people, you could cure cancer.
Yeah,
there's other things.
There's a lot of ways to, and if you're, I guess it all depends on why you're stealing it, But it seems like you could just do it the right way.
Right?
Yeah.
Take a photography class.
Take a photography class, get experience. Offer to second shoot for people, offer to do people's weddings for cheaper or for free.
Absolutely.
Just to get the content initially, ask for reviews from that. There's a lot of ways to build your business and to get experience organically that don't involve fraud.
Right. Or like you said, when you look at if the price is too good to be true, maybe it is. Well, if you're transparent, they're hey, I'm new. I'm building my portfolio.
Sure.
So that way you're setting the expectation of I'm new.
Yeah.
So if my price is good, it's because I'm new.
Yes.
Right. And that's not knocking anybody. Everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah.
Nobody starts off being, Christy Vanderwood, right? She started somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Trish Jager started. They all started. Everybody starts being, mediocre. Or I shouldn't say that. Let's not generalize. But we all started somewhere. And if the price is too good to be true, don't expect someone building their portfolio to give you expert results.
Sure.
And even if someone says my price is really good and I'm awesome, that's when you kind of look at, okay, well, we need to vet this little. Why is this price as good?
Probably because that they are either inexperienced. It's a side hustle kind of, $500 for a DJ is an insane price unless it's just one guy doing it himself for fun.
Right.
And he just does one of those a year. I just made $500 doing this one wedding.
Right.
That's a great day's work, but that guy's not running a business. He's not running a website. He's not having to pay for email and ads and training
going
people.
To expos and marketing and
training and
running a podcast.
Yeah. He's not. Yeah, that's it. That's a good price, but that is not a price that a professional business can offer it at.
Correct.
It's the same with, any tradesperson you'd hire in your house.
Yeah.
There's always some guy who's yeah, I know a guy, he can do your roof. $900 case of beer. What?
Yeah, we're going through that now.
Trust that your roof with somebody who doesn't know, has no reviews, has no website, they just have a cell phone number.
my neighbor, like Uncle Rick or, whomever. And I'm like, that person's going to be doing my electrical work. Like, no, I want you to have a storefront, right? I want to be able to walk into your business. And again, I know as someone who's did it myself, right? You start from nothing. You don't want to spend a lot of money on all these things. I get it. 100%. But when it comes to things that you're spending thousands of dollars on, like your roof, your wedding.
And there's things you can't get back because so if somebody does the roof wrong, you can go pay someone to fix it and do it right.
Right.
But if somebody does your wedding wrong, the wedding's done.
Bingo.
You can't go back and undo it. You can't go back and change it. People had a bad time. DJ didn't show up, didn't play any of the music you requested. Like, that's a real problem.
Right. Your photographer shows up. They're not sending you your photos. I see that all on the bridal groups. Like, my contract says 8 to 12 weeks and it's been 6 months and I haven't gotten anything. I'm like, honey, you're not getting this.
Probably not. Or you have a very stressed out person somewhere who's just ducking everyone's calls and
Right.
I can see how that can happen. The workflow gets up on people and they should talk. They should communicate.
Overpromise, underdeliver.
That's it. And they should talk to their couples and not avoid their calls. And
The ghost. I don't understand the ghosting in 2025. Like, is it accidental? Because, emails go to spam sometimes. Or, if you get a message request on people sometimes will send me stuff on Instagram, it goes to the request folder and I don't see it. And I promise I will never do that, on purpose. I will open a message and I will read it, even if it's me having to say no, which I hate to do, or, I'm not available or whatever the case may be. Ghosting in 2025, no, it's out. We'll talk about ins and outs of the trends, out. Ghosting people,
that's
out.
when that's going out.
And you know what, too? I think clients to vendors, it is uncomfortable to tell somebody, I can't afford you. It's uncomfortable to say that to somebody. If I'm reaching out to you, I'm like, hey, I'd love you to DJ, whatever I need to do. And you say, okay, here's my packages. It is uncomfortable for me to say, I can't afford that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a fun conversation to have. Or hey, I talked to somebody and, they didn't have the experience they thought they were going to have. Not with you, obviously.
Sure.
But, you're not what we're looking for. Or we've found a better price, or we found somebody that fits, our needs, or, this photographer has got better editing style that those are uncomfortable things to say to somebody.
Sure.
We want another direction. But when we talk about ghosting, right? It's not just with vendors, with clients, it's okay if I know what you want or you found somebody else, it's okay. Shoot me an email. Hey, we want another direction. We no longer need your needs.
That's it.
It's okay.
Then I'll stop following up.
Right. I don't want to harass you. And again, I actually stopped doing a lot of the follow-up emails. If we did a phone consult, I sent you a recap, I sent you my prices, and I don't hear back from you, it's okay. I'm not going to harass you. I'm not going to keep following up with you. You know the things, right? You know how to reach me. I've told you can text, Instagram, or email me. You've got that in your wallet, right? Yeah. I'm going to let it be because, you've got the information. I'm not going to keep following up with you, right? However, if you're I'm not holding dates. I don't, without a retainer or contract, I'm not holding dates.
Your business, you can't.
Right. As a courtesy, sometimes I'll extend, you need to wait till Friday to pay your retainer.
Sure. I tell them sign, pay me Friday. Yeah.
Right.
It's officially held when you pay me.
Right.
But so go ahead and sign. Then it shows you're at least interested.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I'll help, I'll let you know if, hey, somebody else is interested in your date. You verbally or, an email told me that you're interested. Great. That's wonderful. But until I have something, somebody else is interested in your date, I'll give you 48 hours to get me at least a retainer and we'll go from there. But it's not, it's not in stone until I have these two things. I've got to have your retainer and I've got to have your contract. Yeah. If you're not interested, that's okay. And I don't feel ghosted a lot because I'm not going to follow up with you.
Sure.
If we've done our chatting and we feel good, great. But I'm not going to follow up because I start out strong with all the information. What's my pricing's on my website? Yeah. What I do is on my website.
Pretty straightforward.
It's all pretty straightforward. Starting prices are here. You know what you're looking for. But these people, I feel terrible for, these other vendors will be like, oh yeah, we're totally gonna book you. Send me your contract, and then just crickets. Don't do that to your vendors. Don't, or potential vendors. Don't ghost people. I'm really sorry you're out of my budget.
Easy.
It's.
Or if they really, I would love to work with you. I don't think I can afford you. Is there something you can do?
Right. Could we get
That's
a
a
smaller
conversation.
package?
That's a,
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's usually a vendor, if they really like you and they want to work with you, they'll find
Yeah.
a way to make it work.
yeah, especially if like I see a lot of people that usually photographers and content creators will say things like, hey, if you're getting married at this venue, this state, I'll do your wedding for this package or cheaper. Or I've had like people that want to do destination
Sure.
weddings, mainly content creators and
Yeah,
photographers.
they'll offer a discount because they
You're
want
getting
to do
married
it.
in Cancun at this resort. I'll do your
Yeah.
wedding for free.
Yeah.
Buy me an airline ticket.
That's it.
Or like, I've never shot at XYZ place. You're getting married there, like $100 off your
Sure.
totally fine. Or, hey, I really love your wedding, your packages, but like, maybe not cocktail. Could we just DJ just the reception? Because I need you there, but I just can't afford it.
I can generally work with them on that, especially if they are honest and they share that vulnerability.
Yeah.
That's somebody I want to work with.
Yeah.
But-
That's uncomfortable
Yeah,
to
somebody
have.
who's like, I don't know how you can justify having this high price. Then I'm like, I don't think,
Yeah.
I don't think you were ever my
Ew,
client.
right.
And I don't even know why you're telling me that. Like,
Ew.
just don't talk to me.
Because
Go
you don't
look somewhere
value what
else.
I do. And
Yeah.
there's a difference between not understanding and not valuing.
Sure.
Right? Like, because for me, like when I'm bringing dogs to weddings, like, and I don't, boomers like literally laugh. They're like, oh, this is your job. They'll look at me and be like, what's your real job?
Oh
like,
my gosh.
what an odd thing to say.
Oh wow.
And you don't, again, maybe it's a generational thing. And no disrespect. People don't, this is your grandchild's baby.
Yeah, they're disrespecting you though by saying.
Like I get that, and I have
Yeah.
people even my own age are like, well, you're kind like, what do you like? What's your real job? This is my real job. I take this very seriously. This is my heart and soul. I have built this from nothing.
Yeah, there's
Like,
it must be
this
nice.
is-
Yeah.
Yeah, right. But like, do you do anything? Okay, maybe I do, but like, this is my baby.
My passion.
Right?
That's what I love doing.
There's a stark difference between not understanding and not valuing. Now, when I sit and discuss, like, it takes, I'm working for your wedding on your wedding day. Like, how many hours do you generally average on a wedding day from setup to tear down?
Usually between 10 and 12
Okay.
hours, depending on the day and where we're at.
But you don't work 10 to 12 hours for someone's wedding, right? Because how much time goes into consultations
Sure.
with your clients and, building their playlist. Like
Sure.
you've got all setting up everything, invoicing everything. It's not just the hours on that day.
Yeah,
Even
there's-
for me,
Sure.
there's so much more that goes into it. And when people say like, oh, well, my services, when you look at all of your vendors, because they're usually such smaller pieces, mine are more on the, I don't say affordable because that's not what I need. When you look at price wise, like I'm hundreds, not thousands typically. When you look at like the cost of catering, right, which is usually thousands because it's per person, mine are usually only a couple hours at a time. So hundreds versus thousand. But when I sit there and tell people like, okay, even my own husband, this 1 minute clip, this 1 minute highlight reel, this took me 6 days. 6 days of my life to make this reel for you. Like, I'm so, like, people don't understand the work that goes into something. And even, again, I'm bringing your dog to your wedding, right? You're giving me a key to your home, a stranger. Key to your home. Picking up your dog, who is going to be in a strange car, right? In a strange place. I'm responsible for this pet that I may or may not have ever met. Bringing them to a place, keeping them safe, keeping them hydrated, getting them dressed sometimes in their wedding attire. I've had, couples that are asking me to take their dog off leash to like perform a trick or to like run down the aisle or, do whatever they. That's really stressful. But I'm still responsible for that pet. Right. Like, there's so many more things than, what people see. So to say like, I don't understand how you could justify that price.
Sure.
Come work with me.
Generally, yeah, that's not somebody. They're
Not your
personally,
client.
they're personally offended, and it's usually they're mad about something else. They're just mad about the stress of the price of the wedding, and they just want to take it out on me because I'm who's in front of them.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, this has nothing to do with me.
Right. You're the scapegoat.
I don't think you really do want to have a conversation and understand this. I think you just want to tear down, attack, and because you're mad and upset,
Which
and
is,
stressed.
it's not okay, but like
Yeah.
you can understand that.
Yeah, yeah. I
You're
just am like,
logical enough to like.
price is the price. Sorry, I understand you're going to go somewhere else. I understand.
Totally.
There's other DJs.
I'm not free. Right. Right. If I'm too much, if I'm less, kind of thing.
People, price is the most important thing. Maybe not our
And
best.
that's not your client, right? Your client is not someone who's price shopping. Here's another one that I'm looking for a vendor that doesn't cost an arm.
I've seen that. I was like, well, what does an arm and leg cost? They're
We don't
probably
want your
thousands of
limbs.
dollars if you.
We don't want your limbs. I
I'm
don't want
sure-
your arms.
But I'm sure it would be more expensive than what that vendor's costing. Yeah.
I could tell you firsthand, prosthetics are really expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very expensive. We are not there to be rich. I don't know one vendor, one passionate, honest vendor that is there to be rich. They're there because they love weddings. They love what they do, period. They want to be there for you, not to be rich. Also, we don't want your limbs. We don't want your arms and legs. We're there to make a living.
It is a huge day in your life, and you're going to leave that to chance. You're going to leave that to, like, I'll just do it myself. I'm just going to hire this cheap person. I don't, you get in really what you put out.
Right.
And if you really want someone who's inexperienced, who doesn't know what that will have a result on the outcome of the day.
Right.
And so why are weddings so expensive? Because there's a lot riding on it, because there's a high expectation, and because there's a big budget involved with it and a lot of moving parts. And you want somebody who's experienced, who you can trust. That costs money.
Yeah. And it's not just a day. People say that, right? Like, you can't justify spending all this money on a day.
Then don't.
Is it more than just one day, though?
I think so. Yeah.
Right. Because how long you've been planning it for a year. So it's a year. It's not a day.
Yeah.
Or, I say a year, sometimes two.
Yeah. Well, then there's like the showers and the bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Absolutely.
There's
And then think
the
of
rehearsal
afterwards,
dinner.
too.
Then there's people do stuff the next day to make a weekend out of it.
Yeah. Oh, which I love. I think those are so fun.
Yeah.
Like the next day brunches. But think about, you're going to remember that day. The rest of again, this could be the first and last day that everybody loves in the same room. You're going to remember that forever. And so when I talk about what things cost, I don't call it a price. I call it an investment. Your investment is because you're investing in your wedding.
Yeah.
The day that you and your family remember it. Like, how many, memories can you think of for your own wedding or, any wedding that you've been at, either as a guest or, as a DJ, where you're like, oh, remember that funny thing that happened? Like, and it's that warm, heartfelt, XYZ happened at my wedding. Like, mine is the joke that I didn't see my husband all night. Like, he's probably gonna be so mad at me when I tell this. But we didn't see him because he was enjoying himself.
Yeah.
But he will even tell you, I haven't seen those guys in years. The last time I saw him was at my wedding.
Yeah.
And before that, I remember all the, time we spent together as kids growing up, blah, blah, blah. He jokes when his dad's friend pulled his pants down to show him a bruise or something he had on leg. Didn't think anything, literally in the middle of the dance floor. He's like, oh, look at this bruise. And he's like, oh my God, I just, whatever. So we joke every time we see him. We're like, Dave, remember when you pulled your pants down? We're going to remember that forever. We're going to
I would
remember.
for that. If I was DJing, I go, there's a guy who put his
Yeah, literally just pulled his
That would be how we talk about the podcast.
What? Why he pulled out his pants? I'm not sure. He did, and we,
really got the party started.
That's how you get a party started. Yes, if you really, I wouldn't suggest it to anyone else.
No, it's
but,
not the move. It's not going to go the way you think, taking your pants off at a wedding.
And now everybody talks about it all the time. Dave, don't pull your pants off.
Remember that one time? Yeah.
Yeah, literally, and you're building so much time around this. Invest.
But yeah, if money and saving money is a huge priority to you, maybe don't have a big wedding. Maybe there's always ways to save. Cut the guest list down. Go, make it more of a cake and punch kind of a thing for
Absolutely.
food. If you want to just have the DJ there for dancing, you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of options, but again, it has to be with what are your priorities. And a lot of people, they want everything. They just don't want to pay for it.
Right. Champagne.
And or they've bought such the very expensive venue, and then they have no budget for anything else, and they want me to help them fit that budget.
Right.
Can you just do it for $1,000? No, I can't.
No.
I can't, because this is the busiest wedding day of the year,
Yeah.
and someone else will pay full price for this.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to forego thousands of dollars because you are over budget.
Right. And how many times have you seen where someone's like, "Hey, I really, really want you. Can you please just give me a discount?" And that vendor has been like, you pulled the heartstrings. They're like, okay, fine. And then they walk in and it's this big grandiose wedding and they ask you for the discount.
Yeah.
Right.
I've seen that where it's like, oh, that's how they afforded this. It's me being the sucker who,
Right.
Yeah.
But I also see that a lot in the groups of brides or couples telling other couples, have the wedding you can afford. Right. And again, I love social media. Sure. I love social media, but it is your wedding. It is your wedding. It is your wedding. it is not a photo shoot is number one.
Yeah.
Like, so don't build your wedding around like, oh, I have this beautiful venue, but I couldn't afford centerpieces.
Yeah.
Or, I couldn't afford a photographer. So, we're all just taking photos with ourselves. Like, it is your wedding. Invest what you can in it, but don't go broke over it.
Yeah. You got
Right?
200 person per plate, but then they booked, Uncle Jim's DJ Emporium.
Right.
And everyone has
DJ,
a
tire
back
center, like
Cumberland.
aquarium.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just silly. It's just, I don't know. Budgeting is really not it's not my problem. It's not what I'm doing. Like,
Right.
I'm doing DJ. I can guarantee this outcome.
Yeah.
That's why I'm experienced at this. Like, that's what we're doing. And if you don't want that outcome, then don't pay for it.
Yeah.
Go buy another outcome. Go to another
Right.
company. Do something else.
yeah,
But-
I get it. Like, things are expensive.
Sure.
And they're
There's-
getting more. Weddings are expensive. We know that. That's one of the first things you learn about weddings is that they're expensive. And I get that. And then there's a lot of people that complain about the wedding tax, right? Like, if I were to tell you you're DJing my kid's second birthday
Sure.
party, or photographers, it's a family reunion,
Sure.
and they give you X price, and then you turn around and you're like, oh no, just kidding, it's wedding. First of all, don't do that. And the not used to tell people to do that.
I'll catch them every time.
Like-
and I'm like, then I'll hold them to it. You don't need to announce anything. You don't need to.
Right.
I was like, it is more work, and there's more stress and more pressure on the outcome.
Mhm.
And so you have to pay. And I'm not dumb. I know how much you're paying for this venue. Like, I know,
Right.
I know this photographer. I know what they charge. And then I'm the least expensive of those three, and then you're like, you just do it for half off.
Sure can. Sure
No.
can. I mean, look, my prices are the same regardless. Like,
Sure.
I can 100% understand that there's a very stark difference. First of all, in a wedding cake versus a sheet cake.
Sure.
And if I understand the difference, budget what I
And a
get it.
professional wedding DJ and a playlist.
100%.
Yeah.
An iPod and
There's going to be a
Pandora.
different experience. Yeah.
Different experience, 100%. Don't lie to your vendors, please. Please be honest. And I know it's uncomfortable. Please just be honest. Because I'll tell you, photographers, they walk in, they're not going to have the right equipment, right? As a wedding versus a family reunion. But also, if you've lied to me about what kind of event I'm at, how do I know that I'm safe here?
That's a very good point.
How do I know
I never
that
thought about that.
How do I know that I'm safe here?
Wow.
So somebody I know had posted, I posted a reel, reposted a reel basically saying, don't lie to your vendors. Like, I understand there's this myth, this thing about there being a wedding tax, but don't lie to your vendors. Somebody reached out to me, one of my friends that follows my professional page, and she's like, I've actually seen this from the bride's point of view, from the couples, telling people, because it's more expensive if you tell them it's a wedding, but I've never understood it from a vendor perspective. Can you explain it to me?
Mm.
I said, for me, I am usually, if I'm doing content, I'm alone. I'm a woman. My safety, if you told me it's X and I show up and it's Y, what else have you not told me?
Mm.
My safety is my number one priority.
Wow.
And if I don't feel safe there because I've already been lied to, first of all, if you don't feel comfortable enough with me to tell me the truth, I'm not your vendor.
Hmm.
But then you've told me, safety wise, I don't have the right equipment. Who is going to be here? What actually is happening here? My safety is important. That's unfair. And that as well within my right to leave and not provide a service.
Well, and they're literally in that situation. They're literally scamming you.
Mhm.
They're literally trying to take money out of your pocket by lying to you and defrauding you, saying this is like a 2-year-old's birthday. There'll be 5 people here, and you show up and it's a 300-person wedding.
Yep.
That's a totally different amount of work, amount of prep, everything. And it's there's a different responsibility there. And I'm going to find out.
Right.
We're going to find out.
2-year-old wedding, a 2-year-old birthday party, the chicken dance, the Paw Patrol song, and Who Let the Dogs Out. That's what I'm playing. Versus your wedding,
Yeah.
your 300-person, Macedonian wedding, they're going to look very different. My equipment's, there's so many things.
I literally bring more speakers. There's just more people.
Right.
Sound is not,
Right.
and see with lighting, a lot of people say oh, well, we don't need all that stuff. We don't need lighting. And I go, okay, we won't bring it. The price stays the same.
Right.
Well, we only need you for 3 hours. Okay. This is our minimum booking. You don't have to utilize all that time, but
Right.
you have to pay us for it.
Right.
Oh, we don't need 6 hours. We need 4 hours or whatever.
Well, the package is this.
This is what's included. If you don't utilize that, well, we don't need ceremony. Okay, we can drop that. But guess what? The price is still
Right.
the price. Well, that's why we have packages, and you can customize some of that to a degree, but we're not gonna.
Right. Not all of it.
Well, and it clearly it's like, what are you after here? Do you want us to do our thing? Do you want our profession, the outcome we can deliver, or are you just trying to basically whittle us down? I want your quality. I just don't want to pay your price.
Right.
Is what the message is.
Right. Here's my budget, but how are you going to make that fit?
Yeah.
And again, it's not always realistic. I understand where you're coming from. Things are expensive nowadays. Weddings can be very expensive, but it's an investment.
Well, and if it was reversed, they'd never go for it. Like it's a.
Oh yeah.
There's the opportunity cost they're not aware of.
Right.
I can do another wedding on this day or 5 other weddings, whatever. I'm blocking off this spot, this time. I'm guaranteeing a performance for you for this day.
Right.
And you are struggling to tell me the truth. You're not. You want to whittle down my pricing. You're trying to nickel and dime me. That's not someone I want to work with.
Right. Do you do that with a grocery store? Like, hey, this is a $30 steak, but like it's not for a barbecue. It's for stir fry. Can I get the steak for $15?
Right. Yeah.
You would never.
That's a good.
You would never. You don't go to get your oil change and you're like, well, hey, this car's a 2012, not a 2025. Could you do my oil change? No. Like, this is the price.
We just need 4 quarts oil, not 5.
Right. Right.
No, trust me, your engine needs 5 quarts. Yeah.
Right. I only need, or, photographers like, oh, we only need a couple of photos. No, you don't. You want all the photos.
Yeah.
I
just 12 perfect photos. What do you charge for that? Do you charge by the photo?
Right. Or why don't I get to see the raw?
I should charge by the song. That'd be so funny.
Can you imagine? Or actually, you know what? Put like a gumball machine, like a jukebox like thing in front of you, or like feed the bills in, and you can request a song. And sorry, that's on the do not play list. They've specifically requested. Do you get that a lot when like clients are like, yeah, do not play this song, and then you have Jimmy running up. He's like, hey.
Yeah, that does happen.
Would you tell him?
Yeah. I said, sorry, we can't play it. It's on the don't play list. Yeah. What can happen though is then they'll go bother the couple.
Stop it. Yeah. No, they don't.
Some do. They make it about, I need to hear this song, or it's like their kid or somebody, it clearly they're making it about them. Like the couple has told me they don't want that. And I'm telling you that they don't want that. And you're going to go make sure they do that. No. You're going to pressure them.
Stop it. Yeah. I've told people before, like, when we go through my contract and, we talk about like the last couple pages, ask you who your vendors are. Mm-hmm. I personally like to know who I'm going to be working with for the day. Sure. I usually reach out, especially photographers and videographers. When I'm doing content, I want them to reach out and, I want to reach out and discuss my work and how collaborative we're going to be, et cetera, et cetera. But I always want to get at least 1 to 2 emergency contacts. I've told brides and grooms before, especially when I do like more setup and turn on. If the venue catches on fire, I still will not call you on your wedding day. Mm. I will not. That is your day. I'm going to call your maid of honor, your best man. Give me an emergency contact, mom, dad, whomever. If the florist doesn't bring, that one centerpiece, most of the time I'll know in consultation, like if you trust me enough to make my own decision to figure something out for you. Mm-hmm. But if it's a bigger decision and you need, I have to swap something out or, give me somebody who you would be comfortable making decisions for you. Because I'm not calling you on your wedding day. Mm. I've maybe had to do it a handful of times in like a true emergency kind of thing. I'm not going to call you on your wedding day. Give me somebody who you want. So I can't imagine somebody walking up to me on my wedding day and be like, you told them not to play this song.
I want to hear the chicken dance.
I have got to hear it or I will physically implode, right? Like that's got to be the level of
You're ruining my day.
You're ruining my experience as a guest at your
I can't hear my song. It's so silly.
How dare you?
It's such a small thing that like you can listen to it on your own phone, in your car. It's so silly.
And I'll put it on my phone, go sit in the corner and listen to it. Like get some earpods.
The worst is because they will not, some of those people won't dance until they hear that. That's it. That's the only time they'll dance to. It's like, I'm going to sit over here and just pout.
And glare at you.
Yes, in the
eye
corner.
Eye contact uncomfortably.
DJ's not playing with songs because you're a jerk. And I'm like, it's not your wedding. It's not your day. It's not about you.
Ew.
Yeah, it's terrible. People are sober. Some people threaten our lives. They try to kill us. Yeah.
What?
Oh, they'll threaten physical violence. Some people try to like touch us and like grab us and grope.
Like touch your equipment? Like
that too, but they'll like literally put their arms around me or try to grab me. Yeah, it's women are the worst, dude. Like, when they're drunk, they just get real touchy, and they think that if they rub up on me, that I'll play their song. I'm like, please don't touch me. Please don't touch me.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry you have
I've had them. They're like, we'll kill you if you don't play this song. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get you removed right now. Take it back.
I am so sorry that happened to you.
It's terrible. It's
oh my gosh.
every year.
That's
not every wedding, but pretty regularly. There's crazy stuff like that.
over a song.
Over a song. Yeah, it's so silly. And it's not the couple. It's never that. It's always somebody, either like a guest or somebody in the family or a bridal party who just, I'm taking over. This is about me. And there's so much ego, it's crazy.
And, I do see a lot in the bridal groups where, like, maid of honor is, like, asking to wear this revealing dress, or she wants to wear, like, champagne. And I'm like, that's too close to white. And that's not your friend.
Yeah. People try to make it about them.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Like, my maid of honor said she wants this revealing dress, like, to give it a little oomph. Like, she said it's not going to take away from me on my wedding day. That's not your friend. She doesn't need oomph on your wedding day. She needs, how can I help you relax? Mm. What can I do for you? Can I pick up snacks or mimosas on the way for us getting our hair done? Like, when I'm doing content, I'm going to be your hype girl. Because I don't know if they're going to be our hype girls. I'm going to bring the energy. We are here for you.
I like that.
We are here for you. Like, that's
your day.
Those are your people, your bridal parties. And I've seen some great ones, man. Some really, like, I think I accidentally recorded somebody. Like, I was recording her doing it, and I hear her say in the back, like, we're here for you. This is your day. And I literally was like, keep that energy all day. Yes. That is what we are here for. It is their day. Like, thank you for that. Yeah. I wish I would have recorded you saying that and like posted everywhere, because it is not for you. It is not for your songs or your preferences. It's for a couple. Mm. It's their day. Yeah. It is their beginning of their life as a couple together. I always kind of go to default to say, husband and wife, but it's not always, that way. So I don't want to, improperly, label anybody, but it is about that couple. Yeah. Not you, not about your dress or your song.
It's not about you. I can't believe
people like threatening. That's insane.
Dude, it is. It is. It really is. And I don't tolerate that.
No, nor should you. Yeah. None of us should. Like,
it's terrible.
Absolutely insane.
I don't like that. And I don't like people trying to put, you know who I am? I don't.
No, tell me.
I know you did. Well, people like, like I'm the godparent of the groom, Oh. And I go, well, yeah, okay. Like, you don't. Oh. That doesn't matter. Like, doesn't.
Great. Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here and experiencing this special day.
Play the song again. For me, that kind of just try to take over. Like, it's so silly.
Why? What? Egos are such a crazy thing. I don't understand. Yeah. It's insane.
If couples are looking to have some content for their wedding, they're looking to have someone to show for their pets, help with their decor, what's the best way they can reach out and contact you?
I am a huge social media fan, right? So my Instagram's always on. I don't have messaging through my Facebook, but I'm very responsive via social media. So you can reach out to me via my Instagram. Instagram.com/Christa K Weddings. Christa with a CH. Christa K Weddings. I'm very responsive via my Instagram. You can, all my contact information is on my website as well. Mm. Email, you can the phone number that's on there, it's a business line, you can text it. I love texting.
Yes.
Calls, I'll return. I don't like the phone as much, but you can call, you can email, you can Instagram me. All my work is out there. Like, if you're looking for something's out there, reach out to me. I want to be realistic about what I can do, but let's chat, let's connect, it's all out there for everybody to see. Whatever's easiest for you to reach me, that's fine with me. I'm literally always on my phone. Reach out to me. Let's make something work.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming. This has been fantastic. And please come back and see us again.
Oh my gosh. You don't understand how geeked I was to be here today. Like, I told my husband, I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be on this podcast. You don't even understand. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, of course.
It's been great.
Yeah, I'm Mike. This is Christa. And we will see you at your wedding.